You're listening to the Overcast, your joke-making, fun-having pop culture podcast, brought to you by Oversoul Gaming. Hello there, everyone, and welcome to the Overcast. I'm Justin.
Nick.
And I'm Brooksy.
And together, we're bringing you sunshine on a cloudy day. And,
It's snowed here today.
Yeah, what an oxymoron, because it's snowing here right now. It's not going to stick because the ground is too warm, but snow is upon us, finally, and, well, I guess it's November.
So jealous.
I guess.
So jealous. It's 80
it's
degrees.
November in the
I
Midwest.
envy you.
Yeah, it's 80 degrees. There was not a cloud in the sky. It's starting to get a little toasty. Yeah,
That sounds like a nightmare.
I have to drive like 3 hours to get the snow from here.
I don't like the extreme heat or the extreme cold. We were doing fine in October, thank you, with the 60-degree hoodie weather. Perfection.
Yeah.
Ugh. No, thank you. But see, Nick spent a lot of time in Florida, so he's used to it. He became a heat monger.
I've always preferred warm weather.
No,
I
cold.
don't make it make sense. I was born in the dead of winter, but my favorite season were the summer months. It makes sense. I can't.
I can. It's because you got the same personality as that chicken from Surf's Up. That's why.
Oh!
Oh yeah.
You're basically a Californian at heart. You know what I mean? So, anyways, well, since we're already on a roll, we'll start with the life updates. But before we get there, though, yeah, this episode, folks, is gonna be the topic will be a retrospective, looking back at the previous Game of the Year winners since the Game Awards started in 2014, and discussing them and whether or not we agree. But before that, it's the usual life updates. Nick, we'll start with you.
Oh, putting me on the spot. Let's see.
Not like you to come empty-handed to the life updates.
No, I know, right?
This man's usually got something going on
There's-
every day of the week.
Yeah, there's at least one hockey game in the past 2 weeks,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, okay. So hockey games.
Got it.
Hockey
Well, you went
games.
to that.
All right.
You went to that Halloween one, didn't you?
Yeah, Hockey Ween. So they didn't win that game. That was against. It was against the Tucson Roadrunners, the affiliate team for the newest NHL team, the Utah Mammoth.
Ah.
Oh.
They started out as the Utah Hockey Club for an entire season, and this year is their first season as the Mammoth. We didn't win that game, but we won the game on that following Sunday, so November 2nd, in overtime nonetheless.
Okay.
And it was a good game. Because I also had work that day. That game started at 3 p.m. I don't get off work until 3:30, right? So what I did is I got off work and I went right to the hockey arena. And didn't have and because everybody was already inside, they had the toll booths closed down. The arms still up. I didn't have to pay for parking.
Oh, well, that's convenient. I was expecting something. The way you set it up, though. I was expecting something a little mischievous. Like what I did was I played hooky.
No.
I used a sack of potatoes and a soccer ball to put a fake me at my desk, so I could sneak out early.
Don't have a desk.
Oh, still though.
Yeah. No, it was good. So trick or treating, it was interesting because for the first 15 minutes, I'm out walking through the neighborhood with Willow, in my inflatable Tyrannosaurus Rex costume. We're out there for 15 minutes and I'm already like reheating and I can't see shit because the plastic screen that I get to look through to be able to see out of the costume is all fogged up. So I had to rely on Willow's voice. And I could see kinda. I really needed to be able to see to be able to cross the street and see when cars are coming. Um, we got back to the house and I changed into my Fiend hoodie and my replica Fiend mask. I scared two people on Halloween night, not on purpose. The first person that I spooked, um, standing behind me, and after Willow and I turned around to leave the house, this person pops off and says, "What the fuck?"
Nice.
Scared unintentionally. I'm just walking, just taking my kid trick or treating with a pretty scary mask. The other person that I scared, I was walking down the sidewalk and they just so happened to pass me, and I guess my mask took them off guard or caught them off guard. There was one house that we went to where it looked like they were packing up for the night. I don't know why, but I felt the need to ask. Is like, "Are you guys handing out candy tonight?" He's like, "Yeah, we just got done handing out our candy. We had 600 pieces. It's all gone." So this guy's son took some candy out of his own trick or treat bag and put some in Willow's bucket.
Oh.
Thought that was sweet. It was it was awesome.
Anything else of interest lately?
Um, just been extremely hyped lately. I mean, I know we're in the holiday season now, but my primary season that the primary season that I am currently celebrating and anticipating is Wicked season.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
Oh
that's
yeah.
oh, they just did there was an event that they streamed live on NBC, now on Peacock, but I will talk more about that in my media corner. Uh, but they dropped an entire soundtrack for the all of the performances for it, uh, on all of the major streaming platforms.
Oh, nice.
I'll go more into detail later, but for now, that's all I've got.
Alrighty then. Yeah, Brooksy, we'll hear from you next.
Alrighty then. Man, past 2 weeks. What have I been up to? Really, honestly, I'm trying to. I have a personal goal of beating 4 games that are on my list before November ends, so that way, I feel really good and comfortable about doing a top 10 list later on. I'm halfway through. I have beaten Ghost of Yote, and I have beaten Sword of the Sea. I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
talk more about Yote later, but I know you've already, Justin, you already reviewed Sword of the Sea yourself, correct?
I have not actually. Nobody's done a media corner for that yet. I will say though, I have beaten it now too, and that I, I I I don't know how to. All I'll say is I really enjoyed the game, but that final boss battle was something else. Like that was like, well, I wasn't expecting a boss battle in the first place, but that
Neither was I.
the way that they did it though, I was like, okay, this is actually a little bit challenging. I'm not gonna lie. There's a trophy for getting through that whole thing without taking any damage, and I'm like, there's no fucking way. There's absolutely no fucking way I could do that. So,
Oh, see, I disagree. The only reason why I took one piece of damage, and it was because I was in the middle of talking with my brother on a group chat through PlayStation.
you know what though?
Uh,
That fight gave 3D Sonic games boss battles. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
it did. No, I played it, like, really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. Normally not my type of speed. Like, I wish it had like wish it had like a like almost like a tricky like or SSX tricky or 1080
I love
or
that game.
Tony Hawk, like some kind of scoring thing. It's not like the
well, I
scores
mean, it does
exist
in
in
the
it.
challenge arenas.
It does in the challenge arenas, but like I don't know, like whenever I'm traversing from point A to point B, like just to have like a little like combo, little extra moves, like I know you unlock more as you progress. I just wish there was a little bit more on it, but it was enjoyable. Like it was a great way to kill. It's a great way to kill a handful of hours. But I've done that. I still have Silent Hill F and still have Ninja Gaiden 4 to get through. Halloween was pretty quiet on our end. We really just kind of just spent time at home. I did take up
I,
on a. Oh, what's up?
I was doing a little fact checking, and I just want to say, and I thought about this too. Um, Sword of the Sea does have a sort of scoring system. There is a trophy for getting I want to, what is that? 100 million game wide score. Um,
Yes, there is, and you have to hit the pause screen, and there's a score in the corner. But I'm talking about like
okay.
when I say like SX Tricky or 1080 or Tony Hawk, like something that's like physically on the screen, does little cool things from
Okay.
multipliers, like
Yeah.
what you see in the challenge area throughout the whole game. Like
Right. Okay.
that's more so kind of what I'm referring to.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah, I
there
don't
I know
think
there's
that's
a
the
score.
main focus of that game, to be honest.
Well, it would have
it
been for me, okay?
it's definitely more of like a journey type of game.
Yeah,
Like I don't know if you ever played Journey, but it reminds me a lot of that.
It was
yeah.
such a good game.
It's very journey coded. Like, but I enjoyed it. So, but no, like outside of that, like Halloween, like it was pretty quiet, pretty chill for us. Like we didn't really do much outside of I wanted to capitalize on a deal that Barnes and Noble was having where they were doing 40% off all of their either horror or thriller movies in any format. No matter what it was going to be 40% off. And I I took out a small investment, but I
Hmm.
I ended up picking up what is it? Love Lies Bleeding from A24 is technically considered as a thriller, and I am the only person in this house that has this opinion, but I love that movie. I picked up what is it? I picked up Sinners, and I got the 4K version of it, which I was super excited about. Picked up what was it? Bring Her Back. Picked up, and I still haven't watched it yet, and it's been on my list of horror movies I really want to see, which is why I picked it up. Is Oddity that came out last year?
Mm.
Been really wanting to see that. Toxic Avenger, which we actually did watch Halloween night.
Is that the
It's
new
that
one?
the new one with Peter Dinklage. Yeah, it
Okay.
was, dude. It was fun. It was just stupid fun.
Yeah, James from Dead Meat is a huge Toxic Avenger fan. Like,
Yeah,
I
it
remember
was.
wanting to see that.
It is like I would say
horror
it
comedy
feels it's horror comedy in the sense that like Killer Clowns from Outer Space
Okay.
is like a horror movie. Like
or
is
Leprechaun.
it or Leprechaun? It is very much of that same vibe.
Okay.
And I personally loved it. Like it was stupid and corny and just a lot of fun. It's a lot of stabs at the healthcare system and a lot of stabs at just capitalism as a whole, and it was just enjoyable.
Oh yeah.
And then my true prize that I was so excited about. I got a copy, director's cut special edition of Midsummer, which is my favorite
Ooh.
horror film of all
I
time. And when
just watched that and I
what
was
did you think?
so uncomfortable.
Unsettled? Yeah. That's what
Yeah,
So
I wanted.
uncomfy.
that's the point.
Oh
That's
my
from the
god.
this that movie's from the same guy that brought you Hereditary. So
Yep.
yeah.
That
The
movie
same
was
person
so
from Beau is
uncomfy.
Afraid. Like dude, I love Ari Aster. I really do.
I fucking love Florence Pugh though, and I love how that movie ended. I'm like, yeah, you go, girl. You
Yeah,
you get him.
but it's this director's cut. It's in the shape of a like the cover for it. It's like this like really nice thick like fabric kind of thing, and inside of it is yes the Blu-ray itself, but it comes as a part of a book, and this book is like a bunch of different like Norwegian styled like folk artwork that they use throughout the entire movie, and it's just super cool. I've wanted this director's cut for a long time, but it's been like $80 on A24's website for what feels like forever. It got a little bit cheaper on their website, and then they had it on sale at Best Buy, and then I could stack that 40%. So I got it for like $25. I was so hyped. Um, yeah, so like I've done, we did that. Nothing too crazy, just hanging out, eating candy, hanging out, and just chilling at the house.
Yeah.
Um, Otherwise, work's been super crazy busy for me. Like people talk about how like hiring slows down at the end of the year, and man, it does not feel like that in a good way for me personally. Work's been really busy but really good. My volunteer work I've been doing. I'm working directly with the head of the division Feed the People on creating recipes and helping with cooking and setting up their kitchen. So that's been a lot of fun. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think. Finally finished Peacemaker season 2. A lot of fun. Really upset that they're not doing another season. Um, yeah, I mean, really, I think that really just kind of covers it. Like, work's been busy, volunteer work's been busy. I've been playing a crap load of games, and just kind of taking stuff day by day, man.
All right, so for me, yeah, just work has been super busy lately, but I've been keeping up in real time with Has Been Hotel. There are 4 episodes in now.
Oh, it's
I
getting so fucking good.
I think I mentioned that I feel like they hit the ground running
They have.
in the first 2 episodes. Episode 3 for me was a little bit of a dip in quality. That one felt off, but then I feel like they brought it back with episode 4, but I'm also a little biased because it focused on my favorite character. So,
Alistair.
um and we didn't quite get enough of that yet. The songs still continue to slap though. I'm a fan of those. Just episode 3 did feel a little weird though, but but the one of the songs in it was pretty fucking funny. Um, so yeah, I'm enjoying season 2 so far. I like what they're doing with the story. I'm curious to see where that goes. Um, I started doing a let's play of a game called Bad Cheese. It's a horror game that came out this year, and it was developed by one guy. Um, whose name escapes me. It was published by a company that's known for doing. It was published by Feardemic, who's known for having published a few different horror games out there, including The Backrooms and Garden of Bonbon. Um, but it was developed by one guy named Simon Lukasik, and his whole intention in this game, right, is that he grew up with an abusive father, so that is projected through the game. In the game, you play as this little mouse whose name is Keemick, um, and it's all in like 4:3, and it's in black and white, and it's got like the old timey sound filter over it, like 1920s Disney rubber limb cartoons. It's what it's designed like, but it's also like a visually disturbing first person psychological horror game, and basically you're going around the house doing all these different tasks trying to keep your father happy to prevent you from getting like permanently grounded or some kind of punishment. And it is like, to give you an example, there's this part in the game where you are trying to play a video game on your TV in your room late at night, and your dad keeps coming up. And he's like, "I better not hear that game, or you'll get the belt." And so like when you hear him coming, you have to quickly turn the TV off and then run to the bed and hide under the covers, and then he'll come in and check on you, check that the TV's off, check that you're sleeping, and if everything's good, he'll leave, and you have to keep doing that until you get through it. Um, but then there's other parts where you're like walking around the house looking for things. Like in the first episode, and this game is like there's some parts that are stealth and some parts that are combat. There are other things too, like you have to run around and find your dad's painkillers and give them to him before the invisible timer runs out. There'll be times where if you're taking too long, he'll start counting down from 10. And he's like, if you don't find them in 10 seconds, you're going to be in trouble. And he starts counting down, and it's like, okay, this is... It can... Anybody who may have suffered abuse as a kid at the hands of a parental figure, it may be a little triggering. But it is, like... I'm glad to see that this guy was able to channel that in a therapeutic way by turning it into art like this, because it's a pretty good game. It's only like an hour and a half long, and it's only $13. I haven't quite finished it yet, but I've done enough to be like, okay, yeah, this is like, it's not like, maybe not top 10 games of the year worthy, but definitely worth an honorable mention at least. Like it goes places with it. And so I've been so that's mainly, I've just been doing the let's play of that, and then obviously chipping away a little bit at the Outer Worlds 2 and Ghost of Yotei. Oh, it gets a little doomish with the combat, by the way. Sometimes the first weapon I get in the game is a fly swatter, and I have to run around and start swatting all these spiders. It does that thing where it's like 2D characters in a 3D environment type thing, which reminds me a lot of old school Doom games. So yeah, I have been enjoying that. I will be. So the first episode will be coming out on Monday at the time of recording this. If anyone's interested in watching it or whatever, or by the time you're hearing this, it'll probably be out. But the game is like on sale for like $10.99 right now, and it's only $13 to begin with. So it's it's worth it. I like this kind of shit. I like when they take like old cartoon aesthetics and turn it into spooky shit. That's why I like Bendy and the Ink Machine so much. So, and it's obvious that this game is biting very hard on Steamboat Willie being public domain. It wears its influences on its sleeve. There's a part where you walk into the living room and literally Steamboat Willie is playing on the TV. So I was like, well, this isn't subtle at all. And I had a boss battle against a giant spider where I had to smack her feet with a fly swatter until she picked them up, and then I could hit her body. I died once because she shot the web out and dragged me in, and I wasn't able to get out of it in time. I got digested. It wasn't pretty. This is nothing but bones. So, yeah. And, yeah. I can't think of anything interesting that's happened lately, besides I've just been doing that, and like I said, chipping away at Ghost of Yotei and Outer Worlds 2 here and there, because I did finally start playing both of those. So, yeah, that's it for me. I more or less just wanted to use my life updates to talk about bad cheese, honestly, because that's all.
Hell yeah!
The most recent thing in my... I felt like it deserved not like a full media corner entry, but a little nod. Honestly, it's like this was something like very personal for the guy who made it, and you can tell with the way, like, because the father in this game is a fucking force to be reckoned with, and he is disturbing. Do yourselves a favor, whether you plan on playing the game or not, you have to see this fucked up art. Go on the PlayStation Store, look up Bad Cheese, and look at the screenshots for it. Just look at the character designs. It is some nightmare fuel shit. So, yeah. That's it for me. on that. And I suppose that gives us perfect transition over to the topic of this episode.
All right, let's do it.
Let's go.
All right, everybody, here we are at the topic of the episode. We're going to take a quick trip back through the past and look at all the previous Game of the Year winners and who they are up against in all the previous Game Awards, and whether or not we think they deserved the win. Starting with the year 2014, that year's Game of the Year winner was Dragon Age Inquisition, and the other nominees included Bayonetta 2, Dark Souls 2, Hearthstone, and Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. And all I can say is, for me personally, and I did enjoy Inquisition, and I did enjoy Shadow of Mordor, I wouldn't have given it to any of those games. Me personally. I wasn't
Really? What
doing
would
my list
you-
back then, but I think my Game of the Year for that year would have been Infamous Second Son.
Did Second Son come out that year?
Yep. That was the
Yeah, it was the launch of the PS4.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that's
2014,
fair.
just
Yeah.
to 2014 was Mario Kart 8, Far Cry 4, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, South Park: The Stick of Truth, Alien Isolation, Assassin's Creed Unity, which was broken, Wolfenstein: The New Order. Honestly, Alien Isolation should have been one of the nominees, quite frankly, as popular as that
Yeah.
game was. So,
I
what do you think of this? What do you think of 2014?
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, like I agree with you. I like Inquisition. It's honestly I actually like the most recent Dragon Age more than Inquisition though.
Same, and not afraid to admit
I
it.
Yeah, like seriously. Honestly, I personally would have put Shadow of Mordor. Like for me,
Okay.
Same.
me personally, like I absolutely loved Shadow of Mordor. I thought it was like truly revolutionary. Like and I apologize. I'm drawn yes, the Nemesis system.
Yes.
I was trying to remember the name of it.
Yes,
The
that was
Nemesis
really cool.
system
I did love that a lot.
is such a revolutionary, and the fact that it is essentially inaccessible for BS corporate jargon and everything else, like the Nemesis system is so incredible. Like the fact that it truly like remembers you, and every single little thing and every person you come across and all of that. Like it was revolutionary. It was so pretty to look at. It played buttery smooth. Like I do remember watching this Game Awards, and I do remember being upset because Shadow of Mordor felt like it should have won for me. What about you, Nick?
I honestly, I didn't play Inquisition, Bayonetta 2, Dark Souls, or Hearthstone. I did, however, play some of Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor, and I honestly, I would have given it to that. Either that or South Park: The Stick of Truth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that one was
I,
that
you
that
you
would have been
you
in my top 10 that year. If
yeah, you would have struck me as like an Evil Within kind of a person.
no,
Like,
that's a horror game. Are you nuts? He's not.
hey, it could happen. I can dare
Tried,
dream.
He
okay?
only
I can
Tried.
dream.
I
he
tried Evil Within. I couldn't.
honestly, I couldn't either. I got stuck at the first chainsaw guy, and I couldn't get past him. I've heard the
The
second game is better though. I ended up watching Markiplier do a let's play of that one.
I love the Evil Within games. They're both great. Like I love them a lot. So
I wanted
I
to.
just
I wanted to. It just got kind of hard, honestly. Like, and that's coming from somebody who's played Silent Hill 2 and all the Resident Evils. The Evil Within is a little more challenging than those.
yeah, that's fair. I'll give you that.
Alrighty. Well, it seems like we've got. Yeah, out of all the options there, I would also choose Middle Earth: Shadow of Mordor out of what they have available, just for its innovation. Moving on to 2015, though, the winner that year was The Witcher 3: Wild Hunt, which probably a good choice, but it was up against Bloodborne, Fallout 4, Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, and Super Mario Maker. And if I'm being honest, I feel like
Man, what a year.
the only competition it actually had here was Bloodborne, because two of those games are considered like not great in their series, and Mario
Hmm.
Maker is basically Little Big Planet did it first. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Little
um,
Big Planet, but slap Mario on
I'm
it.
gonna get a
right?
lot of hate here.
Uh huh.
All the others are nothing I would ever probably play. I mean, I could probably play some of them, but I'm gonna give it to Super Mario Maker.
F- fall.
Really?
Now, see, The Witcher, I think you would like because it is all like high fantasy stuff. A
Oh.
true open world RPG where
Oh.
you are basically
I've never
a
played.
monster hunter.
I've never played any of the Witcher games.
You do not need to play the first or the second,
Yeah.
nor do I really recommend them.
Nah.
To understand The Witcher 3. The Witcher 3 is in my personal top 10 games of all time. As much as I do really enjoy Bloodborne, Fallout 4, Metal Gear Solid 5, and Super Mario Maker, um, there's only one of these games that I have a tattoo from, and it is The Witcher 3. I
Okay,
love the Witcher franchise. I'm literally wearing a Witcher 4 necklace right now that Sam got me for Christmas last year.
nice.
Um, I, oh, dude, at 10 out of 10. That game is
Yeah.
so good.
No, yeah, The Witcher 3 is the objectively correct answer, honestly, out of everything
Fair
it's up
enough.
against. I out of everything it's up against. Um yeah, I think like I've never actually finished it myself, but what I've played of it, I can understand why they do that. That's a true like Nick, that's definitely a true like completely open world button mashing action fantasy game. Like that I
It
think
is.
is probably
It is.
more up your alley than anything else on that list.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Think GTA, but in a medieval fantasy world. Like it is.
More or less,
Oh,
yeah. And
dude.
you have two different
Speaking
Dude.
my
swords,
Yeah.
language.
one for killing people and one for
Yeah.
killing monsters. It's
Oh, dude. It's. I'm a Witcher.
if
It's
I remember
so
correctly,
good.
the game literally opens with a fight against a griffin. Like
Uh,
Let me
not it.
see if I
It
have it in my
opens.
library.
I think it's
It
in PlayStation
opens
Plus,
with.
honestly.
I think it is. Dude, I love that game so much that I have the digital copy of it, and I have a physical PS5 version of this
It's
game,
also got
just because I wanted it.
a true RPG thing where there are missions you do where you have to make choices, and those choices like have the missions have different outcomes based on the choices you make, and
I
that
do
can
not
Yeah,
have it in my
change.
library, and it is $50 on the PlayStation Store.
So it's not on there anymore. But it goes on sale a lot, honestly,
it
like a
does,
lot.
and it'll go on sale for like $10 or something like that. Like
Uh
it's and you'll literally in that game you'll come across like a side quest where you're just like this looks like a random like quick little fetch quest, and then like an hour and a half later you're like that was one of the most magnificent pieces of story I've ever experienced, and that was just a random side quest. Like it's oh dude, I could go on forever about this game, but I'm not because we still have
yep.
like 8 more years ahead of us.
Yeah.
Well, this next one's going to be quick, I think, because 2016 Overwatch won Game of the Year, but it was up against the Doom remake, the little indie horror game Inside, Titanfall 2 for its single player campaign, I'm assuming, and Uncharted 4. Um, yeah, so this not only would it have been, but it was Uncharted 4 for me. Like, this was when I first started
Oh
doing my top 10 lists,
yeah,
and Uncharted 4 was my game of the year that year. The only other
yeah.
thing I would have given it to on this list, and I've played all of these except for Overwatch because it's I don't do that competitive multiplayer stuff really, especially not hero shooters. But um Inside I did a whole let's play of and I really enjoyed that. That game had a fucked ending. And Titanfall 2, that has one of the best single player campaigns I've ever experienced. It's basically like the Iron Giant retold. It is
Nice.
so beautiful, and I did a replay of that on my channel at one point because I wanted people to see it. So if anything for me personally stood a chance against Uncharted 4, it was Titanfall 2, but I still would have given it to Uncharted 4 hands down. I fucking loved that game. I've played it like 3 times. It's my second favorite game in the series, with Uncharted 2 being the top one. So,
I'd say I know Uncharted holds a special place in your heart.
Yeah. Well, it is one of the best PlayStation exclusive series on offer, like top tier.
Yeah,
Like that shit's up there with God
absolutely.
of War for me.
Mhm.
I know Brooksy, you said it was also yours for that year.
Yeah, that I remember. I honestly want to say that was probably the most heated I ever got about a Game of the Year winner. Like
Oh, yeah, fair.
I get the hype around Overwatch. I really do. And I understand that the reason why is like they really cornered the market and really started that format of online multiplayer gaming. Um, it was fine for me. It was always fine. Like if I had given a review at that point in my life, I would have given it like a solid 7 out of 10. It's there, it exists. Like I didn't think it was even worthy of being nominated that year. And that's just me personally, but I there is something so magical about Uncharted 4 that the fact that it didn't win still blows my mind.
Jumping back just a tiny bit, I bet you Nick's 2015 game of the year would have been Until Dawn.
Mm, yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but for on the note of 2016, other notable titles that came out that year: Dishonored 2, Final Fantasy 15, Dark Souls 3, No Man's Sky, XCOM 2, Forza Horizon 3, The Last Guardian, Watch Dogs 2, Firewatch deserves a huge mention. Personally, I think Mafia 3, um, Gears of War 4, Oxenfree, an indie horror game I liked a lot. Abzu, Persona 5, uh, Ratchet and Clank, the reboot that went along with the movie. That was 2016. Um,
Mhm.
yeah.
Sure was. Played the game based on the movie
So,
based on the game.
yeah. All right, 2017. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild was the winner, up against Horizon Zero Dawn, Persona 5, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and Super Mario Odyssey. What the fuck is PUBG doing even nominated here? That's
Again, it's horseshit. It was the time. It was that time where like those type of games were really on the rise, and it's just dumb.
everything else in this list is a fucking masterpiece, but then it's like tainted by that shit being a part of it. Like what the
Yep.
fuck? Like Horizon Zero Dawn, masterpiece. Persona 5, masterpiece. Super Mario Odyssey, fucking masterpiece. One of the best 3D Mario games in existence. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, objective masterpiece. I have a hard time getting into it, but I respect the fuck out of it. Honestly. So this is a hard one. Me personally though, probably would have been Persona 5, even though Persona 5 Royal is better in every conceivable way. But at the time, that's probably what it would have been. That or Super. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't play Super Mario Odyssey when it came out though. See, I was late to the party on that one. I played it next year, and I was like, oh fuck, I really missed out with this one because this game is good as fuck. So like, not since Super Mario 64 did I play a 3D Mario game that good. Even Galaxy, I think it's better than Galaxy. Honestly, I know that's controversial, but I do honestly. Super Mario Odyssey is the tits. What do you guys think of 2017?
I personally would have gone with Mario Odyssey.
Did you play that one?
No,
Uh,
but that's what I would go with.
you have a Switch, and you still haven't played Super Mario Odyssey. Oh my god. We're gonna fix that one of these
Ah,
days.
one
Yeah.
of these days, we're gonna get you to enjoy the spice of life that is different games.
no, no,
Man,
he would like that. Nick loves Mario, but
Oh yeah,
I
Odyssey's a great game. I
I
don't
think
like.
3D Mario more than 2D, honestly. So that one especially, you know,
Yeah, you
No.
know, I don't even know why I'm second guessing myself. For me, it would have been Persona 5.
fair.
I really like Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild was a marvel, and still to this day is a marvel because you look back at the original Nintendo Switch, that thing essentially runs about as well as a toaster. So to have that scope of a world and depth and everything else, like genuinely is absolutely incredible. Um, this again is just like on personal preference. Like I really would have wanted to see Persona 5 that year win, but I also understand why Breath of the Wild won. Like, and
Oh
it
yeah.
really caught the entire world on fire. I
Oh, I
actually still
wasn't.
to this
I was
day,
not gonna argue with that one at all. Honestly, like
yeah,
when I saw Breath of the Wild win, I was like, yeah, okay,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, that makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah, like I get it. I do get it. Like I don't have any questions as to how it won or anything like that. Um, and I enjoy Legend of Zelda games, but funnily enough, I've actually never finished Breath of the Wild, and maybe that's why I don't see it. I've gotten about 40, 50 hours into the
yeah.
game, and I
That's
was
a
like,
that is a demanding game, man. That's an
it
investment.
is.
You're gonna live in that
That
bitch for a while. Like,
yeah, and like, and don't get me wrong, so is Persona 5. Like, you live in that bitch
but
for
it
at least
doesn't
100
feel
hours.
like it though.
Like,
The difference
no, it
is
doesn't.
because Persona 5 is such an on rail. All the Personas actually 3, 4, and 5 are is such an on rails experience. The only time you're in control of your own amount of time you're putting into it is in the dungeons. But during the slice of life sections, that shit pushes you along. Like once the
Hmm.
conversation's over, that's it. The day's done. You wake up the next day, do it again, bitch. Like, and
Yeah, I
even though those
agree.
games are like 100 hours long, they go by in the fucking blink of an eye. At least for me, anyways, because they're just so fucking good and so enjoyable, and that gameplay loop is so addicting and satisfying, and
Yep.
it fucking triggers that little monkey in my brain that likes it when numbers go up, and yeah.
makes makes my brain go.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's literally like serotonin boosts the game. Like it does all
Mhm.
the things. And I think Yahtzee put it best in one of his reviews. One of the reasons he likes the Persona games is because each and every individual aspect of those games are things that he hates separately by themselves, but the way that those games mix it together tickles a very specific part of his brain that he really enjoys. And I get it. Like I feel the same way. I don't hate these aspects by themselves the way he does, but I understand where he's coming from. It's such a a perfect mix of ingredients and the way that they execute them. Like I know everyone's always so worried about playing them because they're like, God, they're so long. They don't feel long. That's the point. Like you're gonna when you finish it, you're gonna be, man, that felt like it went by in 40 hours. How long did I play? 130. What? Like you won't believe how long it is because it doesn't feel as long as it is. It's that is assuming you're enjoying it, of course.
Yeah.
If you're not, it might be a different story. But at that point, why keep going? You know what I mean? Like, um, but there is a certain point once you pass it where it's like, well, you've seen enough now. You might as well, might as well, like,
Yeah.
sunk cost fallacy. You know what I mean? Um, so yeah, I'm with you there. I don't think 2018 is going to be very controversial because yeah. So God of War was the winner, the 2018 version, the reboot, the Norse mythology one, um, or the requel, as it were. And the other nominees were Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Celeste, a great indie game about mental health, Marvel's Spider Man, Monster Hunter World, and Red Dead Redemption 2. I don't think the rest of those need any explanation. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is probably the only entry in here I disagree with. Everything else deserves to be nominated for sure, and I have no disagreements with the winner whatsoever. In fact, that was also my 2018 Game of the Year, was God of War.
You know what's funny is if you had asked me, oh man, like 3 years ago, I honestly probably would have given it to I probably would have given it to Red Dead 2. Um,
That it
for
was,
what?
I was worried it was going to at first because Red Dead Redemption 2 was pretty popular that year, and I
Yeah,
distinctly remember the Game Awards being a Red Dead sweep until Game of the Year. Like it
yeah,
was Red Dead was sweeping the awards, and I was like, oh fuck, they're gonna take this, and then we hit Game of the Year, and it's got a war, and I'm like, oh, surprise twist. So
yep. No, and a big reason why is for me personally. I had a hard time getting into God of War. I love the original trilogy immensely, and still to this day, absolutely love it. Like I know y'all have heard me talk like about hack and slash and my love for them.
Mhm.
So when God of War 2018 came around and I booted it up, and I was like, oh my god, this is gorgeous, and it's such a different play style and it's such a different tone. I was like, what did you do to my boy? What did you do
Uh,
to my Kratos?
I'll be honest.
I
It's called growing up. That's why
yeah.
I like it,
Well,
because I think story wise, it is. Because I love the previous God of War games too, but I would have probably never put any of them on my game of the year
yeah,
list. Top 10, sure, but not like at the top, because like they really are just like, oh, it's a fun revenge fantasy thing, yada yada. But Kratos to me was
yeah,
never a relatable or sympathetic character. He was just a plot device to excuse you sticking your sword in things. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
it was just those were gameplay first games. The 2018 God of War is a story first game, and that is
Right.
probably why I like it more, because I'm the story guy for these things.
Yeah. And
And I love seeing the transition into Kratos, because I love this whole, like, I love redemption arcs. I do, and I think this is a great redemption arc for him, where he was a vengeance fueled edgelord who literally in the third God of War game, you know, spoilers for something from 1,000 years ago, but he fucking like kills the entirety of the Greek pantheon, like all the gods, and every time he kills one of them, it fucking fucks up, like the city. Like he kills Poseidon and the oceans go out of control. He kills Helios and the sun goes away. He's fucking killing all these innocent civilians in the process on his revenge quest. Like he just apocalypses the entirety of Greece and then pisses off to another reality. Like
yeah. No, and
that is fucking fucked. But he redeems himself in these games, I think. Like I like seeing the redemption. I like seeing him realize, oh fuck, I'm a bad person and I need to prevent my son from becoming what I was. You know?
yeah, and here's the thing. Like I said, if you had asked me this 3 years ago, that's how I would have felt about it. And I think a big part of it also is like, yeah, I was a bit on the immature side of things too, and I was like, no, I want my God of War. And listen, it's
Hashtag
just,
not my
I'm like,
Kratos.
yes, hashtag not my Kratos. Like hashtag my Kratos, my choice. Like
Yeah,
this is.
I miss the David Jaffe edgelord
Yeah,
days.
that's the thing. That's how I felt initially about it, and I kept coming back to it like every other year, and I would play for a couple hours and be like, no, couple hours, no, couple hours, no, and then I finally like actually sat down and played through it. I think towards the end of 2023 is when I finally sat down and actually played all the way through it, and it's a literal masterpiece. And like,
Yes.
it absolutely deserved its flowers. I think I needed to get a little older and honestly kind of relate more to Kratos as someone who is like more or less now, and I'm an adult. Like I'm in my 30s now. I'm
Yeah.
married. I've got like,
And
and so I
as
can
someone
relate to Kratos a lot more now.
as someone who doesn't have kids, I find I can relate to both Kratos and Atreus in equal measure and understand both their points of view, which helps a lot to my
Yeah,
enjoyment of the story. Because I know a lot of people who got super annoyed by Atreus, but I didn't, because it made sense. And I mean, I know the game came out in 2018, but like anyone who hasn't played this, I don't want to spoil Atreus' true nature. Like I feel like that's one of
Oh
the most
yeah,
important part. So I'm gonna keep that. But like it makes sense, you know, why he is the way he is when you find out, and that is such a brilliant way to tie it into the lore and everything. And yeah, the game is an absolute masterpiece. Let me tell you, the exact moment that this game, I knew this was my game of the year. There's a line, there's a bit of dialogue when you're in the boat, and it
can I guess
fucking,
what it is?
I don't take it from me. This gives me goosebumps every
I
time.
no, but because I know I'm incorrect. Can I guess what it is?
Okay,
Boy.
no, it's definitely not that. No, no, that was the meme. But okay, so there's a moment where they're in the boat, and Atreus is being a mouthy little shit like he does, and he says something about his mom, who's, you know, they're both grieving over her death in this, and Atreus calls out Kratos for being so cold and solemn and acting like he doesn't have any feelings about it, and Kratos, about having it up to here with Atreus' shit at this point in the game, finally says something. He was like, um, he basically pulled like a "how dare you," and the line that stuck with me the most, he said, "Do not mistake my silence for lack of grief. Mourn how you wish, but leave me to my own." And I was like, "Yep, this is my game of the year right here." That line right there fucking solidified it. Boom. I don't care
Yeah.
what else the game does from here on out. This is my 2018 game of the year now. Because that shit always that stuck with me.
That's fucking heavy.
It is. Nick, do I even have to ask? Like, I know. Like, was it this or was it Spider Man? You can be honest.
God of War.
Okay.
Haven't finished it, but it's God of War all the way.
Wait, you haven't. I thought it's the second one you haven't finished. Yeah, I thought you finished the first one.
No, I never finished the first one either.
Oh, okay. Well, fair enough. At least you have enough to know.
I watched the recap before I even started Ragnarok.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I have to imagine Spider Man would have been a close second for you though, because
Oh, absolutely.
that was definitely on
Absolutely.
my top 10 list. Like that
Yeah,
was
no. Marvel Spider-Man came very, very close in
it.
second.
It deserves a mention because it was
It's
like it's like the best
the
Spider.
masterpiece.
Yeah, like they did a really good job bringing back the feeling of the old PS2 Spider Man in a new
Can't
era.
fucking wait for Insomniac's next game.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
Wolverine.
Wolverine's. Alrighty, so 2019, the winner was Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice, a very difficult Souls-like game from Software. The other games that were up for it was Control, the SCP Foundation-inspired game in the Remedy universe, Death Stranding, Resident Evil 2 Remake, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and The Outer Worlds, which I forgot was even
What a
nominated.
what a year for Justin. Like what a year for Justin in gaming.
Honestly, yeah, like I literally played all of these except for Sekiro. The one thing that won is the only thing on this list that isn't for me. So, what would I have chosen besides it though? Ooh, probably Death Stranding. If I'm going to be completely
Really?
honest with you, like 100%. Outer Worlds would be a close second. By the way, uh, I just want to say when I did my 2019, my top 10 games of 2019, Control, Death Stranding, Resident Evil 2 Remake, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and the Outer Worlds were all on that list. Every last one of them
Nice.
were on that top 10 list.
I would have
So,
to say for me it would have been Super Smash Brothers Ultimate.
yeah.
And I will tell you, I know this is going to be really surprising for you, Justin. I also personally would have chosen Super Smash Bros. Ultimate as the game of the year for that year.
Really? Because I
And I
actually think that's the objectively worst game on that list out of all of them.
see. So here's where I'm coming from personally. I have not played Control, and I also have
Fair.
not played the Outer Worlds. I do have a hard time electing a remake as the game of the year winner.
If it's
So
rebuilt
that
from the
really,
ground up, it should count.
yeah,
You know, like Final Fantasy
it
VII
absolutely,
Remake is basically an entirely different game from the original, and
I no,
the
I
same is
agree.
true
I
of Resident Evil
fully
2.
agree. I fully agree. It's just something that I personally have a hard time grasping with. Is that this game's already received flowers, and although yes, absolutely from the ground up, it feels like here's another set of flowers. It feels weird to me. But that's just a me thing.
Yeah, no fair.
So, and for me, like, I actually hadn't played Sekiro until this year, and it was because I really got parrying down from Expedition 33, and I was like, oh, I've got the sauce now for Sekiro. And boy, howdy, do I not still have the sauce for Sekiro. It's an incredible game, but it's one that it is good. It is really good. It is. I don't think it's got enough sauce for a game of the year winner. So it
Really?
leaves me down to
Because
yeah. It leaves me.
I didn't argue with it when it won. I was like, oh,
Well,
it's a From
and that's the
Soft
thing.
game, so it probably deserves it.
And that's the thing. I think it deserved a nomination. Winning it, that's where I kind of had a hard time. So it leaves me down to Death Stranding and Smash. And I look at things as like Death Stranding is the objectively more beautiful story and graphics and everything else. But the game that I would go back to time and time and time again is Ultimate. And Ultimate, that game in particular, I'm not a multiplayer or an online player kind of a person. This one has a very special place in my personal heart. Some of my favorite and fondest moments of gaming with others comes from Smash, and specifically Smash Ultimate. I know that's a really weird wild card for me, just knowing my personal taste in games. But I love Smash Ultimate.
Fair enough. I'm gonna take a wild stab at what Nick's actual game of the year would have been for that year, and I'm gonna say Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Other options that came out that year that weren't nominated: Fire Emblem Three Houses, Jedi Fallen Order, Gears of War 5, Metro Exodus, Devil May Cry 5, Borderlands 3, Pokemon Sword and Shield, A Plague Tale Innocence, which was my game of the year that year, Days Gone, Disco Elysium, Luigi's Mansion 3, Mortal Kombat 11.
Nice.
So not a bad year, 2019. Actually, all things considered, there was a
Oh
lot
yeah.
decent little chunk out there. 2020, a very controversial year for more reasons than just gaming, but, um, and I definitely feel like the tone of a lot of games that came out at this time definitely matched the tone of the world at the time,
Oh yeah.
and which is to say, we had, what a hodgepodge, by the way. The Last of Us Part 2 was the winner, controversially, but I think it deserved it. It's just, that game had a lot of haters, but I love that they stuck to their guns and gave it to it anyways and basically said, fuck the haters. It was the winner, but it was also up against Animal Crossing New Horizons, Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, and Hades. And before you say anything, Brooksy, I can see where you're coming from with the Resident Evil 2 remake, even though it is technically a different game. But the Final Fantasy VII Remake is the first 5 hours of the original stretched into a 40-hour game. There's so much new shit in there. It's basically it's a sequel. It's not a remake. It's a fucking sequel. Let's be honest.
For time saving purposes, I understand. There's also nuances to my statement of remakes. Something like Resident Evil 2, or something like thinking about like Oblivion that came out this year. Like it's hard for me
Oblivion's
to grasp
a remaster.
Right.
A remaster.
So, but for Final Fantasy VII remake, that is so. It's been so long since 7, and it is such a massive overhaul, and not just an overhaul, a extension of the original game. I look at that as a new game. I personally do look at that as a new game, not a remake.
I look at that. That's how I look at the Resident Evil remakes too, though, because remember, they were on the PS1, and
oh, I know,
and not only that, but the story has changed. The story has changed to be more in line with the continuity that Resident Evil 7 set up in these remakes. So there's a lot of differences. The whole part with when you're playing as Sherry in the Resident Evil 2 remake is completely new, completely different. Like they took out the whole sewer section. It takes place at an orphanage now. There's a whole stealth section against somebody looking for you. So it's a completely whole new thing. Like so those I can justify. That's where remakes I will justify if they are rebuilt from the ground up and feel like a whole brand new game. Whereas remasters are just spit shine ports, so they don't count for me. I have no qualms with The Last of Us Part 2 being the winner that year, though. I liked it a lot. My personal game of the year, though, was Miles Morales for that one.
Yeah, that was surprising that did not get a nom that year.
Yeah, I'm super surprised that one wasn't even nominated for Game of the Year. No,
a lot of people said it was basically felt like DLC for the first game. So
it also because it was a game for the PS5, and the PS5 came out that year. It may have just missed the cutoff time.
I think it did. I think it missed the cutoff too.
And by the time games for 2021 rolled around, it was kind of so far removed that there were other things to be able to share, which I honestly, even currently looking at the 2021 Game of the Year lineup, I would have definitely found space for Miles Morales, but that's just me personally.
We'll get there. But for 2020, for me, I'm okay with The Last of Us Part 2 winning. I'm glad it won. My only other options here for me would have been 7 Remake and Ghost of Tsushima, because I didn't really play the other. I mean, I did play Animal Crossing. But I don't like roguelikes, and Stardew Valley, Animal Crossing, Harvest Moon type shit is like those games with no ending are I also tend to avoid. So Doom Eternal, again, it's Doom. So for me, yeah, it was either between The Last of Us, Final Fantasy VII, or Ghost of Tsushima, personally, and like The Last of Us Part 2, for being as bold and ballsy as it is, I think, quite frankly, deserved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for me, I have zero questions about The Last of Us Part 2 being Game of the Year.
I'm surprised neither of
It
you are saying
is.
Ghost of Tsushima, honestly.
No, I mean, here's the thing. I loved. Oh, sorry. Do you want to go ahead, Nick?
I I haven't gotten far enough into Tsushima
Mm,
to have that kind of an opinion.
fair enough.
I'm liking what I am liking what I've played so far.
Right.
Nice,
Okay.
nice. Yeah, I mean, for me, like, I didn't even play through Ghost of Tsushima until this year. And with it even being fresh on my mind, and no, there's still no question. There is absolutely, without a shadow of doubt, that Last of Us Part 2 absolutely deserved the Game of the Year that year. There is very few stories that are as visceral and just jaw dropping and so engaging and just full of like real true raw emotion and really playing with the lines of things not being black and white and that everything is based on perspective and everything is
Hmm.
truly gray. It is such a miraculous story. Like it is the very first collector's version of a game I've ever picked up for myself, and I love The Last of Us Part Two. I love that game so much. Yeah, that's what I want to say. Like,
No,
I have no questions
no
on that one.
qualms there. I'll also say
No.
I know Nick, you did enjoy what you played of Final Fantasy VII remake up until you got stuck at that boss, which
Yes.
honestly was pretty fucking far into the game. So,
Did get pretty damn fucking far.
um, all right, 2021. We'll go through these last 4 years real quickly here because they're like uh more recent. It Takes Two was the winner, which I have no disagreements with, but it was up against Deathloop, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and Resident Evil Village, which
What a weird year.
I don't remember what my 2021 game of the year was, but in hindsight, I think Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart is probably my favorite PS5 exclusive thus far. So I think I would have given it to that one personally. But I loved It Takes Two, and I do not deny that it deserved the win. That one was in my top 10 list. They both were. So was Resident Evil Village, I think. It might have been. Um, which I also enjoyed. Um, I probably would have taken Deathloop out of this list, but I get why it was in there. It was ambitious, honestly.
Fair
What do
enough.
what do you think? Either of you?
Uh, I'd have to go with Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Yeah, I knew you'd be with me on that one. I knew.
Yeah.
You know,
It was literally a fucking Pixar movie. Like, I was playing it, and I'm like, this is a goddamn Pixar movie I'm playing. It's so good. It's so goddamn
yeah,
good.
I personally and I know this sounds weird for me to say. It Takes Two is definitely the game of the year. Like I fully believe that that deserved game of the year.
Oh, objectively,
I
yes.
remember. Yeah, objectively yes. Funnily enough, I did have a really close second for me personally, and it wasn't Ratchet and Clank, and it wasn't Resident Evil Village, or Deathloop, or Metroid Dread. It was Psychonauts 2.
Mm,
I loved.
fair.
I'm a huge platformer just in general, and I there's a very special place in my heart for Psychonauts 1. I never thought I would ever actually get a Psychonauts 2. Like I thought like it was gonna die with the Rhombus of Ruin. And I still to this day haven't even played Rhombus of Ruin because I don't have a VR set, and I've heard that game is phenomenal. Justin, I think you've told me it's phenomenal.
Which
Uh,
one?
Rhombus of Ruin.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a fun little short experience. Look, my most popular video on YouTube is a playthrough of Rhombus of Ruin. If you want to see what happened between Psychonauts 1 and 2, just go on there and watch it. It is only an hour long. honestly.
Yeah,
And it's a
but
fun, it's a nice little prologue. The reason it's my most popular video on YouTube is because that's exactly what everyone did. They wanted to know because they started playing
what happened?
Psychonauts 2 and they were like, wait a minute, this is picking up after something I don't remember. And then they realized there was an in between VR game and they're like, okay, now I gotta go watch that. You know,
Yep, but Psychonauts 2, like I love that game, genuinely love that game. But no, It Takes Two, without question, it was man, it's
fair.
what as much as A Way Out was awesome, It Takes Two is really what put Hazelight Studios on the map.
You know, you're never gonna believe though what I gave my actual game of the year to that year, and I'm kind of regretting it now. I wish I would have given it to Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, but in my top 10 list, my top game that year, and I think it's just because I was having so much fun with it initially, um, was Far Cry 6. uh,
Ah,
Funny thing is, though, after a while, the novelty wore off, and I started to kind of regret that. So,
mm,
in hindsight, I probably would change that one to Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart because that one, the more I think about it, like actually sticks with me as being like a prime example of the kind of shit the PS5 can pull off. Um,
Fair enough.
other notable titles that year, by the way, Tales of Arise Mass Effect Legendary Edition, which is remasters, so it wouldn't be, Forza Horizon 5, which was on my list. I actually really enjoyed that. I call it a car PG. Life is Strange, True Colors, Little Nightmares 2, The Medium, Near Replicant, The House of Ashes, Dark Pictures game, Road 96, Mario Party Superstars. Anyways, all right, so 2022, the winner was Elden Ring, another From Software game that makes it their second win in this whole thing.
Yeah.
Um, the other games that were up for it, though, were A Plague Tale Requiem, which I did enjoy, but not as much as the first one. God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, second nominee. That's like the God of War, God of War and Horizon. Both of their games got nominated for Game of the Year. Um, Stray and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Um, which I like the Xenoblade Chronicles games, but like I only ever played the first one, so I couldn't say anything on that. Stray was really fucking good, and it was actually like just an honor for that game to be nominated. Quite frankly, like just
yeah,
considering
I
how
agree.
indie it is. My personal game of the year that year, like in my top 10, is on this list, and it was God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah, I'd have to agree
I
with
doubled
that.
up. I doubled up. I got award twice. I gave it to 2018 and I gave it to 2022 on my top 10 lists. Elden Ring is obviously not my cup of tea. I respect the fuck out of it, but I don't like these types of games personally. It just the challenge is not fun for me. Um,
Arise,
but I
ye
like
tarnished.
but I like
There's.
I liked Plague Tale Requiem. I liked Horizon Forbidden West. I liked Stray. I still haven't finished Forbidden West, but it's good. But God of War Ragnarok, though, yeah, that game, I think it actually, I like it better than the first one. I'm gonna say it. I'm not afraid to say it. I fucking like it better than the first one. I
Listen,
so
I I am very unashamedly and very proudly on the opposite side of the table of you two. Um, there is only arguably one better game in my entire life than Elden Ring. That was such a marvel and such a spectacular moment in gaming for me. I've outside of one other game, it really is a game that I got fully lost into. Like I'm talking about, I had 100 hours into it before I rolled credits on the game. Um, it really is peak for me. Like I'm still at a loss of words. Like there's again, I only have a handful of collector's items, but I sure as hell have the helmet from the DLC Shadow of Erdtree, as well as the statue of Mesmer. I do plan on getting an Elden Ring tattoo at some point in my life. It is about as perfect as a game can get for me personally. It is what
I
actually opened the world of Souls-like games for me. Because prior to that, I owned Bloodborne and I owned Dark Souls 3, I owned Sekiro, and I would get like maybe 20% of the game and be like, I don't want to do this. This is hard. Um,
so
Elden Ring. Oh, what's up?
Oh, I was just gonna say my thing is even though I would have chosen God of War Ragnarok personally, I don't disagree with Elden Ring winning. I do think it objectively deserves the win. This was one of those years though where I think that there are a couple titles on this list that all equally deserve, like any of them having won, I would have been like, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
And Elden
honestly,
Ring was one of them, and I was like, when I saw that it won, I was like, yeah, yeah, okay. Like, I'm not mad about it, honestly, because I'm not one of those people that gets all pissy when my personal preference doesn't win, because, like,
yeah,
I can separate my subjective taste from objective quality, and I'm like,
no, absolutely
Elden Ring
fair.
objectively deserved a Game of the Year win. I'm not going to contest that,
I,
you know?
I mean, I act when that got announced when they said Elden Ring. I acted like I personally just won Game of the Year. Like I was so like screaming at the TV. Oh yes, yes, get good! Like oh, I was so excited. I was
I,
so hyped.
I had that reaction for God of War in 2018 was the one I had that reaction for. The Last of Us Part 2 I was happy with, but I didn't quite have that reaction. There is one more on this list I did have that reaction to though, and I'll tell you when we get
Oh,
there.
I think I
Uh
know which one it is, but
so Nick, you would have chose God of War Ragnarok, but you do you also see why Elden Ring won?
Yeah,
I mean, they
I can give credit where credit is due. I haven't personally played Elden Ring myself, probably never will. Um,
uh, that's like
but
having
I
the
can
option to see the Mona Lisa saying, "Nah, it's fine, it's whatever."
look. All I can say is Elden Ring gave us a pretty funny Starbomb song about Aaron being attracted to the pot thing.
it
So,
really fucking did.
so that was cool. But also, you know, props for them for getting George R. R. Martin to write the lore. So that's cool too.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
2023. I have a hard time arguing with this one too. Like Baldur's Gate 3 was the winner, but it was also up against Alan Wake 2, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4 remake, and Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Uh so my personal game of the year was Alan Wake 2. I don't think that's any
I
surprise to
I
anyone.
remember
no,
that.
no.
Yeah.
Oh,
Um
wow, I'm so surprised.
but like it's the best game in the Remedy universe so far. It's the most David Lynchian thing I've ever played in my life. It is like
To
I
mention Not to mention you glazed the song,
Herald of Darkness.
Herald of Dar would not stop talking about it. It was yeah,
Oh yeah,
one of the
yep.
greatest things.
Show me the Champion of Light, and I'll show you the Herald of Darkness.
Uh-huh.
Uh, Best part of the whole goddamn game, honestly. And I even put it in my top 10 video for that year.
Did.
Like as the ending. Yeah. So and they performed that at the Game Awards that year too. So that
Sure did.
was
I remember that.
so it wasn't just me glazing the fuck out that song. That shit was popular. And I love how the full version of that song, like the full album version, is 13 minutes long. Uh, so
Yeah.
I
The
fucking
long
love it.
one.
I fucking love it. The old gods of Asgard are so good. Like one of my favorite things to come out of the Remedy verse. Honestly, every song they put in their games, Alan Wake, Control, and Alan Wake 2, all of them have at least one or two sections that are like play the game goes along with the song that's playing, and there's some of the coolest things. Like I fucking love Remedy. So that shit stuck with me. Alan Wake 2. I would have put that in like my best moment. I didn't get to play Baldur's Gate 3 outside of the trial on PlayStation Plus. I did like what I've played of it, and I'm still waiting for it to go on a reasonable sale before I like fully pull the
Yeah.
trigger on it. But I do respect its win, and I do recognize it as an objective Game of the Year candidate, quite frankly. Um,
I
uh,
downloaded the trial. I don't think I ever got to play it and then lost access to it.
oh yeah,
But
it
I
probably expired.
really, really, really want to play Baldur's Gate 3.
It
Yeah,
is so good. I've played through it 1.5 half times. Yeah, I think I'm towards the end of Act Two on my second playthrough, my Dirge run. Um,
Let me just say, by the way,
like,
Spider-Man 2 was in my top 5 that year. Nick and I did a spoiler cast for it where we both gave it very, very high ratings. I think it was like
oh yeah,
9 and 10. So,
yeah. Spider-Man Two was phenomenal.
Yeah, it was.
Um, I really like. I have no complaints on any of these games that were nominated. Baldur's Gate 3 was without a doubt, irrefutably, objectively the best game, and really just it started the wave of less is more in the sense of you don't need a giant, massive gaming studio to provide some of the most incredible moments in gaming. Period. And I love Larian Studios for it. It is what inspired me to go back and play the Divinity games 1 and 2. It is so good. It is such a good game.
and let me just say, Super Mario Brothers Wonder is some of the most fun I had playing a 2D Mario game since Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Like it is really good. Nick played some of it with me when he came over. We had a lot of fun.
We did.
Nice.
I think that made my top 10 list that year. So did Spider-Man 2. So did Alan Wake 2. Surprisingly, Resident Evil 4 remake didn't, even though 2 did. But there was a lot of things in 2020. 2023 was a really fucking good year, so it was hard to narrow it down. I had Amnesia: The Bunker, all kinds of shit. Like I can't even remember. There was so much. Now, the same can't be said about the next year, 2024. This is probably one of the weakest years in gaming I remember. There was some good stuff in there, but they were diamonds in the rough. Like, I enjoyed Still Wakes the Deep. I enjoyed Star Wars Outlaws and Dragon Age and all that. But, honestly, I don't think Final Fantasy VII Rebirth deserves to be here, but we'll get there. Astrobot was the Game of the Year winner. It was up against Balatro, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree, which is a expansion. I'm not going to call it a DLC because I think it's more than that. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Metaphor Refantasio, which, if it wasn't Astrobot, probably would have been my other choice, just because it's that game is a very cool Persona like, but it's in a medieval setting instead of modern day, and the story is really fucking good. Also, it's a lot shorter than your typical Persona game. You can actually knock this one out in about like 60 hours or
Yeah.
so. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, though, does not deserve to be here in my opinion, and that's because for everything it does right, there's something else it does wrong. I used this term a lot last year to describe it: high highs and low lows. And it is, the highs of it are fucking peak, but the lows are so goddamn low that they stand out like a sore thumb. And it really pissed me off. It did make my top 10 last year, but I didn't have a lot to work with. I really had to bend over backwards to justify some of my top 10 entries last year, quite frankly. And
Yeah.
it was, and honestly, some of them I put in there out of spite, just because I got tired of people like fucking talking about it. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, I enjoyed Dragon Age Veilguard, but I'll be honest, I put that shit on my list out of spite, just because just because I hate bigots. So, I wasn't really going into that list with media literacy. That was an angry top 10 list, if I'm being honest. Um, but yeah, last year fucking sucked. But Final Fantasy VII Rebirth has so much Ubisoft type slop in it that like the part, and then there's a part in the middle of the game where the pacing just slows to a crawl. God, I don't know. I know Ryan agrees with me. I know, because he loved Final Fantasy VII Remake, and then he started playing Rebirth, and he was like, boy, I love how I play like 7 mini games, and then I get like 5 minutes of cutscenes and 10 minutes of fights only to play 10 more mini games. And it's like, yeah, it's that game's got a pacing problem. It's got an overstuffed with content problem too. Actually, is what it's got. There's too much. There's too much shit to do in it. Like, it was in the original, is like the gold saucer was your moment of reprieve, but now every fucking town you visit's got another bullshit thing for you to do, and it's just, fuck, man. This is how you. This is like, the first game was 40 hours. That's perfect. This one took me like upwards of fucking 80 hours to beat, because I was being all OCD about the shit, and I was like, I hate that I'm doing this, but I have to do it. Like, I hate that I'm clearing the map, but I can't not, because it's gonna fucking irritate me if I don't. So
Yeah.
plus I wanted to get all the summons too. So there was that,
Fair
and I wanted to
enough.
see. I wanted to do the side shit because it's a good part of the story, but like the game, certain aspects of the open world gameplay just dives really hard into that. Like you're literally climbing towers to open more of the map as part of it, and that it's tedious. It gets tedious sometimes. Do you have to do all that shit? No, but it's like, I also don't have to eat the fries that you gave me with my burger, but that doesn't excuse them being fucking soggy, now does it? Like, you know,
No.
so yeah, it's a part of it. I know saying that it's optional content is not a fucking justification for it being bad. You know what I mean? Like, or a slog to get through. And some of the side quests in that game are fucking slogs. So, like, I'm going on a bit of a tangent here, but that game does not deserve to be here. I liked it, but I didn't love it. So, if
Fair
I'm
enough.
being honest, it's a step backwards from the first game in the series,
It
quite
had
frankly.
chocobos.
It did, but that didn't save it. That didn't save the chocobos. Just made it easier to get through the tedious shit faster. That's all. It's
Fair enough.
like when you're doing the open, again, I didn't have to do all the open world shit. I brought it on myself, but again, it doesn't justify it being slop either. You know, it's the good parts are really fucking good, and that's all it has going for it. When the bad parts are so bad that it basically balances out. When the good parts are a 9 out of 10, and the bad parts are a fucking 5 or 6 out of 10. So the game overall is a 7. No pun intended.
Yeah, no, I would have to agree with Astrobot being the winner overall.
Honestly, the only other things on here I could see it actually being are Black Myth Wukong and Metaphor Refantasio. I don't know if I could put. I don't know, Brooksy. I'm sure you played that Elden Ring DLC or expansion.
Yeah, sure did. And that's the thing is man, I personally do think that that expansion is warranted to be viewed as a full game. I would say I probably got about 40 to 50 hours worth of content out of it. I think it took me collectively like 55 hours to beat, but I also played that on New Game Plus 7, and it was not easy. Um, Especially dusting off some cobwebs because it had been a handful of months since I had played Elden Ring. I no, I mean I don't have any questions on this. Like I had played Black Myth Wukong. It's a great game. It definitely deserved to be nominated. It did not deserve to win. I personally like the only two games that make sense to me personally is either Astrobot or Metaphor Refantasio.
Yeah,
And I can't believe we're actually coming up to this point, y'all. Me talking about Astrobot was the first time I ever got to speak on this podcast.
yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah, it
it's
was.
your anniversary will be
Like,
coming up next month.
yeah, seriously, like we're getting full circle now on this.
Um,
So,
yeah.
Yeah,
All that is to say, Astrobot obviously deserves. I also think Astrobot is the objectively correct choice, and I think the reason for that is because in a year full of all kinds of disappointing entries into long running franchises and other just low effort slop, which I think a lot of that is like was the leftovers from the pandemic, quite frankly, before things, because like this year things have picked up tremendously. So
absolutely they have.
um Astrobot was like the one big shining star in the group of all that mess, and it was very like I think it was the nostalgia dose that people needed. You know what I
oh
mean? Like
yeah,
it
I
Yeah.
felt
it
pure joy. I
it
felt pure joy
Yes,
playing it.
and it started off a trend of like gameplay first games that take us back to the old days of gaming, and that has become more of a thing, a pattern I'm seeing more of this year. And I'm not going to say that every game that's tried it has nailed the feeling, like Lost Soul aside, but they have tried, and I give them A for effort. Whereas there are games like South of Midnight and Mafia of the Old Country that have absolutely nailed that feeling, following in Astrobot's footsteps. So I think I said it last year when it won. I was like, I bet you this is it's on the fucking podcast. I bet if you go back and listen, I say this. Astrobot, I think, paved the way I said it. I said it then that Astrobot was going to pave the way forward for a bunch of more nostalgic type games to come in, and that's exactly what's happened this year. So, I think I think Astrobot winning Game of the Year was actually a big shift for the industry as a whole. You know,
I believe so. Yeah, I
it
can
sent
agree
a,
with that.
it sent a message and a good message at that. It's
Yeah,
also some of the most genuine fun I've had with a 3D platformer since Super Mario Odyssey. So, you
yeah.
know, um, yeah, it was also my personal game of the year. I remember Nick's being the plucky squire, which also a good shout, quite frankly.
Oh, it was such a good game.
Um, so, any closing thoughts on this before we go to the media corner? I think the only 2 years where we were all unanimous in the Game of the Year winner was 2018 with God of War and 2024 with Astrobot.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
And I think maybe 2020 with The Last of Us Part 2, were we all on the same page there?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think so, yeah.
Yeah, so not too bad. Not too bad. And I like that we also all agreed that Overwatch didn't deserve it. So,
No,
No,
that
fucking Overwatch.
why?
Yeah, trust. Again, that's why I said it's the only year I've ever been viscerally angry at the Game Awards.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they were still finding their footing. 2017, they definitely became more respectable with that lineup. That's when I started taking them seriously. Um, so, all right, closing thoughts.
That was fun.
Nothing. That was lots of fun.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I enjoyed taking that trip through history. I'm looking forward to what we got this year. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
It
That'll be
is.
what our next episode focuses on. All right, onward to that there media corner. Time to wrap her up.
Let's mosey on over.
All right, everybody, here we are at the media corner, the part reserved at the end of the shows for news, reviews, recommendations, sometimes previews. And I feel like bookending today, so I think we'll go in reverse order, and because this is mainly just because I want to go first here, and that is for a game that came out recently, an episodic game called Dispatch. I didn't jump on it right away when it started, but this game is made up of former Telltale developers. It's a company called Ad Hoc Studio, and these people, they went to work for Ubisoft for a while, decided that they didn't like what was going on over there, and much like the developers of Expedition 33, pissed off and started their own thing. And
I
this,
actually I didn't know that, but I do think it's really funny that between that and Sandlight that's created Expedition 33, Ubisoft can make some really good things like employees that want to leave and make even better games. That's
yeah,
awesome. Like
yeah, and
That's
and
hilarious.
well, it says when you look them up, when you look up Ad Hoc Studio, it says they're made up of former employees of Telltale, Ubisoft, and Night School Studios. So, um, so that is all combined, and this game was made in collaboration with Critical Role, and I do think that they had a pretty heavy influence in it. In terms of a lot of the gameplay. So this game is you play as a washed-up superhero, who was known as Mecha Man, but his suit gets destroyed in a very in a fight, and he is now just normal man, normal everyday man. He was kind of like Iron Man. Without the suit, he has no powers. So he gets propositioned by an actual superhero to work for their company, where he will work as a dispatcher to a group of misfit superheroes known as the Z Team, which is a bunch of former villains that are trying to redeem themselves as heroes. And if he agrees to take this job, they will work on fixing his Mecha Man suit for him in the background. So that is the game. It is part classic Telltale, where it is a narrative focused game where you're making dialogue options and doing quick time events during fights. But then also the other part of it during the dispatch parts is there's this micromanaging RPG system where you're sending superheroes out on missions, and they all have different strengths and weaknesses that you have to consider the text clues tell you what kind of character you need for that mission. Like they might say, you need somebody to convince them to release the hostages. So you want somebody who's charismatic, someone with good speech stats, to send there. Or someone who needs to get in and out of a place quickly, you might want to send someone who's got good speed stats, or someone who can turn invisible, for example.
Yeah.
Um, and it's got an RNG system to it where the strength of the characters you send on missions mixed with the stats you need to accomplish it overlap each other, and as long in my experience as long as you have about 60% or higher, there's a good chance that you will pass it. This little ball bounces around, and if it lands in the safe zone, then you're good to go. I'll be honest though, there have been times where I've had like an 80% chance of success, and it still fucked me. you know, so it is very RNG heavy, and the choices that you make in the story have a direct effect on the gameplay, and vice versa. And the game is episodic, like I said, but it's $30 flat, and you get access to the whole thing. Each episode is being released via update patch every Wednesday. They release 2 episodes, not just one but two. So at the time of recording this, the first 6 episodes are out, and the next 2 are coming out, and probably will be out by the time you're hearing this. So, which will be this coming Wednesday, and then it'll be a complete and full story. So, the game is fucking hilarious. It's very adult, and I'm doing a Let's Play on YouTube, so I had to choose. And when you start the game, there's an option to turn off licensed music and replace it with different music, which I had to turn on. And there's also an option to censor nudity, which I had to turn on. And it has, honestly, some of the most hilarious black bars. Brooksy, you may recall the fight early on in the first episode with the with the bits, all the green bits swinging around, dude. In my version, that's just a big sensor bar flying around, flopping around.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's kind of fucking hilarious.
So good.
You know what does kind of suck, though, is that for some reason the nudity sensor also censors middle fingers, which doesn't make any sense to me. I left the cursing uncensored. You can censor the cursing, too, so it all gets bleeped, but I left that on, because, obviously, it's way funnier that way. But you can get away with the cursing on YouTube, but the nudity, that would have been a big no-no. And the copyrighted music, those are things I had to change. But once I've done the Let's Play, I'm going to go back and play it again the intended way anyways, and make the opposite choices from what I did. So, because there's a lot of points in this game where it's very much A or B choices. But the thing is, basically, because of that, you have different combinations, different outcomes. There are certain scenes where the combination of characters there and what happens can change based off choices you've made earlier. You know, like there's 2 pretty big choices in episode 3, and doing the math, I think there's basically 4 different combinations of how those 2 choices can turn out. So, which changes who will be with you later in the story and stuff too. You know, so is probably the best way I can put that. You know, so yeah, and but I'm loving the story. The game is fucking hilarious too. Like the comedy is really on point. And here's one of the things that really sells the comedy. There's 2 characters in particular that have different styles of humor, but it really works out. The main character in this game, the guy that you control, the one making all the choices and being the dispatcher, is voiced by Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad, Mr. Jesse Pinkman. And his fucking monotone sarcasm, like I don't give a fuck attitude in this game leads to most of the comedy. He's got the fucking, like, snarkiest comebacks, and it's fucking hilarious, quite frankly. And it's just like his, like, half depressed, half sleepy, whatever attitude about it that makes it even funnier, quite frankly. You'll see what I mean when I play. Aaron Paul was the perfect choice for this voice casting. The entire voice casting is fucking phenomenal. You'll notice YouTubers, a lot of the villains are played by famous YouTubers, like your Z-Team, your villains turn heroes that you're controlling. Punch Up is Jacksepticeye, Sonar is Moist Critical, the demon lady Manevola is Alana Pierce. So there's a lot in there. And then there's also, like, even more, like, Aaron Paul's probably the most famous voice, but we've also got Laura Bailey is in it, is in Visigal. I think her name is Erin Yvette, plays Blonde Blazer, and she was Snow White in The Wolf Among Us. She's been in pretty much every Telltale game, so that's why she's here. Mm-hmm. You know, she's done a voice in pretty much every Telltale game when I looked her up. Jeffrey Wright is in this as the funny old black guy, and you'll know him from as Isaac in The Last of Us Part Two, both the game and the show, and James Gordon in the Robert Pattinson Batman movie.
Huh.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, and he's the other funny character in this. He's fucking hilarious. He's the one when I sent y'all the clips of the funny clip of the game with like me laughing at the shit he was saying. That's the guy. He's the funniest character in the
Okay.
whole game. Like he's fucking
Oh
hilarious.
yeah.
He's a cranky old fucking. It's great. I love him. Um, so yeah, he's great, and the story, but it's not all comedy. It's not all fun and games. There is some really like fucking difficult choices to make in this game. Like I actually had to pause a couple times and think about it, and 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 I'll just say without spoiling anything, episode 6 I fucking cried at the end. Like the story definitely gets serious. So, um, I'm not gonna lie. So, and I don't know if what happened was a result of my choices or if it happens regardless, but that's a hell of a fucking cliffhanger, man. Let me just put it that way. So, um,
Enough.
Laura Bailey is in this too. I think I said she plays Invisigal, who is your typical like fucking spiky like standoffish character who slowly starts to show their soft side as the story goes on. They kind of grow on you. That also depends on how you choose to play. There are two characters that you can romance in this game, and she's one of them. And if you choose to follow the path with her, you start to see a more emotional, softer side to her. So
Yeah.
I like those kind of characters. No offense to the blonde blazer, but she's just so fucking basic. I like that. It's just like she's literally Supergirl. It's I like my characters a little more complex. But that being said, she is not without her complexities either. They both have stuff going on that obviously I won't spoil, but like there's a lot of character development in here. In midst of all the comedy and the violence, there's a lot of character development too, and a lot of serious story beats. Um, this game has like slowly weaseled its way into my top 5 this year, let alone top 10. I swear to God, it's the funniest fucking game I've ever played. I'm having a ball with it. Even when it pisses me off, I'm still enjoying it. So, and that's not even. It's not even the game that's pissing me off. It's the characters in it, which is kind of the point. And a lot of times, it is the consequences of my actions. This game, I don't think the ending will be that vastly different from most people, but I will say this game is the epitome of consequences of your actions because your story choices directly affect your gameplay performance in this game. So, and that is a pretty fucking bold choice. Also, Matt Mercer is in this as the villain, but he does not get much screen time in the first so many episodes. I don't want to say any more than that, but he does play the villain in this. So, and Matt Mercer and Laura Bailey are both from Critical Role, for those who didn't know. So,
Okay.
they're also pretty fucking famous voice actors. Matt Mercer is Leon Kennedy in the Resident Evil remakes, and a lot of other things. Laura Bailey was Abby in The Last of Us Part 2. Um, she's been in a lot of other shit too. Um, so actually, I think her and Matt Mercer were together, yeah, as Leon and Helena in Resident Evil 6. So,
Okay.
yeah, Matt Mercer also plays Vincent Valentine in the Dirge of Cerberus, not Dirge of Cerberus, fucking Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. When you get him, when you meet him. So, but only 6 episodes, but this is a fucking 9 out of 10 game for me so far. We'll see whether or not
Wow.
episodes 7 and 8 sell it, but like if I like gameplay aside, if I was rating it on just the story and comedy alone, this is a fucking 9 out of 10. The comedy is a 10 out of 10, honestly, but I don't think the game is perfect. I do think it could use a little more polishing. I do notice the frame rate started dropping pretty bad in one of the more recent episodes for me. It was very stuttery, but outside of that though, like I don't know. This is some of the most fun I've had this year with this game, quite frankly. Just like some of the most pure enjoyment I've gotten out of, and I've said that about a lot of games this year, but this one is definitely up there for me. So I know you've been playing it a bit, Brooksy. Like you're not as far as me.
Yeah. No, I finished episode 4 this morning. So I'm only 2 episodes behind. I officially picked it up, I guess 4 days ago. Yeah. I've been trying to do an episode a day, knowing that the final 2 episodes are going to come out on Wednesday. So essentially, like, I'll have episode 5 tomorrow. Today is Saturday of us recording, so I'll have tomorrow, Sunday, Monday. I'll have a day off on Tuesday, and then I'm just gonna straight consume those last 2 episodes the moment they drop. Um, and I'm
Hmm.
excited. I'm so excited. It's no, I don't want to give a review fully quite on it yet or give a score on it. But I'm very much enjoying it. You're absolutely right.
Is
It
it
is
safe
one
to
of
say then you just echo my sentiments more or less?
Yeah, I echo them. It's awesome. It truly is one of the funniest games I think I've ever played. Definitely this year. And I'm excited to see what the rest of this game has to hold.
Excited to
Absolutely.
get my hands on it.
So, anyways, I said reverse order from the life updates, right? So Brooksy.
Yeah, that would be me. I was right in the middle last go around. Yeah. So I'm excited to finally get to talk about Ghost of Yotei.
E.
I have not only rolled credits on this game. This is actually the fourth game I have ever platinumed. Um, and I feel like that should give a pretty good indication as to how how I felt about this game. The only other games I have platinumed is, as we talked about earlier, Elden Ring, Astrobot, and The Stick of Truth. Those are the other three games that I have platinumed. This game, Ghost of Yotei, the successor to Ghost of Tsushima, which was a Game of the Year nominee, takes place, I want to say, a little over 300 years after Ghost of Tsushima.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not necessarily a full fledged direct tie between the two games. This game is set around actual Mount Yotei, which is a real mountain that exists,
Yeah,
in an
they're
area
doing an
called
anthology series with this. I think.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's set in an area called Ezo, which is modern day Hokkaido in Japan, and the whole game is circulated around a woman by the name of Atsu. And Atsu's premise, original story is as a child, a group of individuals known as the Yotei Six, a like group of Ronin samurai, led by an individual named Lord Saito, massacres her family when she was a young child, leaves and Ezo is considered the northern part of Japan, fled to the mainland, spent her entire upbringing in the mainland learning how to not fight like a samurai, but fight like a mercenary and fight like her life literally depends on it, and comes back as an adult to the north, to Ezo, to exact her revenge. This game is straight up a revenge story. There's definitely some nuances, especially towards the end of the game, regarding the revenge story itself. But this game truly improves on just about every single facet that made Ghost of Tsushima great. Um, the combat of it is a huge notch up in my personal opinion,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to in the last game you fought with a sword, a katana, the entire game, and you would learn different stances to be able to counteract different enemies. In this game, you fight with different weapons, and there's different tempo and different styles that go along with it that are specifically geared for different individuals. Like if you're fighting someone that is holding a spear, you're wanting to use dual katanas. If you're wanting to fight with someone that is a brute, there is, and I cannot remember the name of it off the top of my head, but there's a giant ass sword you can fight them with. There's different weapons for different interactions. The and everything feels different, and that is really nice. The story itself incredibly rich, not nearly as rich as the story of Jin Sakai. Um, what I think really is like the marked difference as far as like the story that it's telling is the game of Ghost of Tsushima felt like you are telling Jin's story, and it is Jin that makes this game, right? For Yote, it feels like it is every single person around Atsu that makes this game. Um, Different NPCs that you come across, different people that join your group. She calls her wolf pack. Um, each person adds a new layer to essentially Atsu kind of learning more about herself as the story progresses. Um, Graphically, it's incredibly beautiful. Like truly a beautiful game to look at. Like it has like that very similar like intro feel that Ghost of Tsushima had, where you're like you come out into the giant field and you're like, oh, this game is about to bring me the sauce, and it really did. It really did. Like I fell in love with it. Like I felt like I couldn't put it down. It was one of those games where I felt like it was one of those games where I was just thinking about it anytime I wasn't playing it. And I will say, as far as like the ending goes, there's a lot of controversy online about how people felt about the ending. I personally felt like I felt like it was an appropriate ending. I feel like it was an ending that made sense for the story and for the game and everything else. Um, and even like the performance of this, I personally I always choose performance over quality. Playing it on performance, like it was super buttery smooth, and the thing that was the most impressive aspect of this game is how fast it is. And when I say fast, I mean I can be on one corner of the map, and it's a huge map. You can be on one corner of the map and pull it up and pick the exact opposite corner or an area that's super dense or something like that, and it will pull up exactly that location in 2 or maybe 3 seconds. And it's faster as far as going from one place to another than Spider-Man 2 was, and that
Oh wow.
alone is incredible. And the fact that I could literally turn off my PlayStation, eject the game, turn my PlayStation back on, put the game back in, click on Ghost of Yote, and in less than 8 seconds, because I did time it a couple of times, in less than 8 seconds, it would drop me exactly where I was last, like to the
Nice.
exact same spot. And that's it's just it was like holy crap, this feels like next level to me. Um, Really, the only gripes that I have about it is I do wish there was a little bit more of a story behind Atsu, but again, it feels like everybody in the game makes up for that. It was just it was incredible. It truly was. I kind of wish I bought the collector's edition of it, but I'm really happy I do own a physical copy of it. For me, it I've been tossing between two different numbers, um,
So
and
land
I
in the
think I'm
middle.
gonna. Well, I can't because it'd be at a 0.25, and I don't want to do that.
Oh.
Yeah, two different numbers, a full number and a point 0.5 number.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's what you
Yeah.
mean.
And I think I'm gonna land on the lower end. And I'm gonna keep this at a 9 out of 10. Um,
Okay,
Okay.
it was an amazing game for me.
that's still a
There's
high
only
score.
It's still a very high score. There's only two games that I've given higher scores for this year, and that's Expedition 33 at a 9.5, and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 that I gave a 10 out of 10. And when I sit there and I
Yeah.
think to myself, as incredible as this game is it on the exact same level playing field for me as Expedition 33? And it falls just a little short of that. It falls literally just a little short of that.
Fair.
Um, but I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I really hope, like they did with Ghost of Tsushima, that they will do not the Legends, because I know that's coming out eventually for this, but coming out with like a full DLC like they did for Tsushima, because the moment that comes out, I will buy it and I will immediately hop back into this world because holy crap was it so much fun.
All I will say before I hand it over to Nick is that I have started playing this. I'm about 2 hours in so far. I do like it more than Tsushima. I definitely like the combat more so far, and I think the thing where you like switch between the past and the present in some areas and like do
Oh
those
yeah,
yeah,
super
that's
cool.
pretty cool. And the wolf stuff is cool. So I'm into it so far. I am probably gonna like beeline the narrative and ignore most of the side shit. But if I see a golden bird in my vision, I will follow it because I have to.
I will
I will.
I will say this is one of those few games like KCD2 for me that I just naturally instinctively wanted to go look at any random thing that popped up on, like, as I'm like riding my horse, and be like, ooh, what's that over there? Ooh, what's that over there? And when it came down to the point where I got to the final mission, and it is one of those games that does give you a courtesy of like, hey, you're about to do the final mission of this game. I was like, well, let me go and like get all the other things and like get all the other achievements so that when I roll credits, like I roll with the platinum trophy. Um, and I
Yeah,
really didn't
I
have that
just
much. I didn't have that much left to do at that point. Like
fair.
I had already explored so much of it, and when I rolled credits, I rolled credits at 52 hours, and that was 52 hours to not just beat the game but platinum it. I think if you just play just straight through, you could probably beat this game in like 35 hours.
I just wanna I would want to get far enough into it for like game of the year discussion reasons, and then I'll worry about the extra shit later. You know what I mean? Like, all right, Nick, bring us home.
All right, so I have a Wicked One Wonderful Night. Oh,
Nice.
for the record,
And what a wonderful
watch,
night it was. Okay.
dude. So okay, so for the record, I've watched this 3 times now.
Oh wow. Okay.
Would watch it again. Um, so this is let's say Ariana Grande, Cynthia Erivo, Goldblum, Del Yo, Bowen Yang, Jonathan Bailey. The only cast member that wasn't able to be there at the event itself was Jonathan Bailey.
Mm.
However, he was there for like the little in between like couch sessions, which I'm convinced that those were filmed prior. But
Probably. Yeah.
they opened with No One Mourns the Wicked. Then we had Cynthia Erivo sing The Wizard and I with Jeff Goldblum on the piano. They did a live performance. They actually did this one was a tribute to the fans that basically turned What Is This Feeling into a Super Bowl halftime show video on TikTok.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was
Nice.
really fucking cool.
Was this
Um,
this live performance like where it was happening at like on a stage in front of a live physical audience?
yes, this
Okay.
was in front of a live audience. This was at the Dolby Theater in
Okay.
Hollywood, California. Um,
Man,
this
what you would have given to have been there, huh?
dude, the ticket prices for this would must have been astronomical, especially because they put specific emphasis on you will see performances like you've never seen before and never will again. This is truly one wonderful night. They had a montage, an amazing, beautiful montage of all of these different videos that fans put online to show how much of an impact that this movie, Wicked as a whole, has impacted not just the country, but the world.
Hell yeah.
Amazing. And one of the fans happened to be in the audience that night. It's a 4-year-old little boy named Remington who watches Wicked every day and did a little video uh, of him singing along to Defying Gravity. This little boy is sitting front and center in the front row. Ariana Grande is just sitting on Glinda's bed across from Elphaba's bed, and she goes, "Oh, gee, wonder which song is next." And he talked about the wonderful montage that they had just played, and one of the fans was in the audience. She was wondering, called Remington out by name, and she asked Remington to be her Alfie for this next song because he was dressed as Elphaba. So this little boy gets pulled up on stage, gets to be part of this performance. It was a special moment for sure. Like this is a moment that this little boy will never forget. It was
Yeah.
wholesome. It was cute. They they did some songs from Wicked for Good. They actually had
Oh, a
they
sneak
oh
peek, you say?
no. So okay, so these were like songs that already that anybody who knows Wicked, these songs have existed for at least 20 years.
Right, well, from the original Broadway play, but part two of the
Yes.
movie isn't out yet.
No.
So, in a
So
way, it is kind of the songs came out before the movie.
so got a special performance of the song For Good from the Gershwin Theater in New York City in an empty head. The home of the original Broadway production with Stephen Schwartz, the original composer, on piano, with Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo singing For Good with two special guests. And the amount of talent that was on this stage all at the same time, the two special guests were Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth, the original Broadway Glinda and Elphaba. They all like this performance with how intimate it was, with there being absolutely nobody. It was an empty house. This was you could imagine only imagine just being a fly on the wall during that performance. The amount of talent in that room on that stage.
Yeah, I have to imagine actually being there is quite a different experience from just
Oh my
watching it on the
god.
screen.
Oh, I know.
You know, I, I
Dude.
don't know. I just have to say Remington was that his name you said?
Yes.
That's
So when
that's a very unique name. I just want to say that. Like you don't hear that
it
name a
was
lot. It makes me
it
think
was
of a cartoon rat for some reason.
it was cute because it's funny that you say that because you know how the song opens. He says in the in the Broadway production and in the movie she goes, "Elfie, now that we're friends, I've decided to make you my new project." Well, because Remington was for Elfie for this, he goes, "Remy, now that we're friends, I've decided to make you my new project." She called this little boy Remy. It
Ah,
was cute.
yes, like from Ratatouille. Uh,
Yes.
no, it does though. Like Remington, though, it sounds like a cartoon rat who also invents things.
Yes.
His name is probably Sir Remington,
Right?
something like that.
We had a live performance from Cynthia Erivo performing I'm Not That Girl. Dancing Through Life was performed by Bowen Yang, Ethan Slater, Marissa Bodie. Sorry, that's who I was forgetting. Marissa Bodie was Nessa Rose, Elphaba's younger sister, because Jonathan Bailey could not be there for the event to perform Dancing Through Life. Had a performance from Ariana Grande performing the song "Thank Goodness." That was, oh my goodness, that one was good. Defying Gravity was my favorite performance. It was the closing performance. I think that's the song that I identify with most because of the message behind it. I want to talk a little bit about the fact that they did actually show sneak peeks, little snippets of the two original songs that were written specifically for Wicked for Good. They actually showed clips for Alphaba's song No Place Like Home and Glinda's song The Girl in the Bubble. Just these small clips
Huh.
of both of these songs, I already cannot fucking wait for this soundtrack to drop. And it's going to be so frustrating when we leave the theater on November 19th and the soundtrack hasn't dropped yet because we got tickets for the early access screening. The soundtrack will drop on the 21st. I cannot wait to listen to these songs over and over and over again, and I've only heard a small little bit of each of them. Can't wait.
Nice.
I'm so fucking excited. Concert event as a whole, for me, is a 10 out of 10. There were some celebrity cameos that were in some of the video packages. I will not name. If you want to know, you can go watch this on Peacock. It is now streaming over on Peacock exclusively.
Absolutely. And I can not
It's
more. What's that?
it was definitely something special.
Yes, and I'd be remiss if I didn't like loudly encourage people to not walk but run. Run as fast as you can to your nearest PlayStation and or computer and buy Dispatch. Buy now. Buy now. Download now. Please. That game needs to be bought. But anyways, and Brooksy said the same thing about Ghost of Yote.
Yep, 100%.
Hell yeah.
So, don't wait for a sale. Do it now. So, anyways, that'll be it for this episode. Thank you all so much for listening. If you enjoyed it, remember to smash that like button if you're on YouTube, or give us a good rating on their Apple Podcasts and whatnot. You can leave a comment down below. If you're on Spotify, YouTube, wherever you're at, most places you can, or you can email me at podcastoversoul@gmail.com. Find me on ye old Twitter at Oversoul53. Nick is the Gaming Fiend 1 on all of the things, and Brooksy is Brooksy, my boy, with an I, on Instagram. Music from Epidemic Sounds. Thank you to Sarah for some behind-the-scenes help and whatnot. And hosted by Podserve FM. And like always, we will catch you in the next one. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Later.